One way these Chinese manufacturers cut corners in the production of these cheap inverter welding units is with the power supply cord. This unit in particular came with a 2-wire cord. Unlike the traditional 3-wire cord, this cord does not provide any grounding for the case or the frame of the welder. Taking a look at the back of the circuit board here, we've got a whole bunch of exposed high voltage contacts. Should these come in contact with the case, this could be an electrocution hazard. It looks like the manufacturer's done some work to isolate all the electrical components from the case, but this doesn't meet North American safety standards. So I'm going to show you how to swap this cord over to a 3-wire cord. In order to swap the power cord safely, we're going to need a few tools. The first is a multimeter with continuity function. We'll also need wire cutters, a file, Phillips head screwdriver, a small ring clamp terminal for our ground wire, and 2 spade connectors to connect our new power supply cord. You also need to procure your power supply cord. Make sure that it has 3 wires and that the wires are thick enough to handle the amperage of your welder. I've attached a Chinese plug to the end of this one. On the side that connects to the welder, we're going to want 2 spade connectors crimped on to the neutral and hot wires. We're also going to want to solder on a ring clamp terminal to the ground wire. Before you open the welder, you want to make sure that you've let it sit for a couple days without being plugged in. This will give the high voltage capacitors a chance to discharge themselves. You don't want to get shocked. In order to remove the original power supply cord, depress the tabs on these spade connectors. Now with the cord removed, we want to find a suitable ground point on the welder. This is where the continuity function on the multimeter comes in handy. When there's a continuous electrical connection, it'll make a beeping sound like this. With the cord removed, we want to find a suitable place to connect our ground on the frame. Take a look for any screws. Here's a screw here connecting to the frame. We can attach our ring clamp terminal there from our ground cord. Go ahead and remove the screw, and after we do that, we want to make sure that we file down the screw hole. This will give us a solid electrical connection to our ground wire. Take your file and file it down. We can see here now that the metal is shiny. Take the ring terminal on your ground wire and connect it through with the screw. To ensure that we have a good ground, go to the ground wire of your power cord. On this plug, it's this one here, and connect one lead to there and one lead to the frame screw hole. We get a beep here, meaning there's a good ground connection. Now you can connect the 2 spade connectors on the power switch. To make sure the cord doesn't get pulled out of the welder, we're going to use a cable tie to secure it inside. Now the cord won't pull out. The final step is to test our ground connection to the case. Fasten all the screws connecting the case to the frame except for one. We're going to use that as a test point. Take one probe of your multimeter to the ground wire and one probe to the exposed metal on the case. You can see there that we've got a connection. So now we can go ahead and finish fastening our screws. The welder is now grounded and safe to use. If you have any questions, let me know. I'll try to address them.